but obviously we don't want to miss anything. And 3 races is not long. I mean, 35 minutes, and he took second. 35:01 versus a 32-minute time for proa007. Extremely close. I know Teeks was playing a little bit aggressively at the end, just trying to find the fortress. You know, coming into World 8, you're looking to see what your opponent has done. You're looking for that done command in the race timer, and you're just hoping for the best, absolutely hoping for the best. Unfortunately, that one didn't go his way. But round 2 starting up here in really in the next 30 seconds. They've compared the hash, and they're going to be getting started here momentarily. So go ahead and get your guesses in. We have 1 through 7 that you can possibly choose from as far as which world comes up first. So get your guesses in. I think it's, I don't know what it is. We're using race time, so I know it has its own code or whatever. But anyway, get your guesses in for what the first world is going to be. Guess your random world order as well if you want to go ahead and do that. I got to go 7. Let's go 7 here. I was kind of fringing on 6, maybe think about 6 for a second, but I think 7. Let's go ahead and get the pipe maze up and going and get these guys on their way. All right, a lot of really good guesses so far. We don't have a guess of World 2 yet. So if somebody wants to get in there and get a guess for World 2, then we will have each one guessed, and we will have somebody right, at least, anyway. So anyway, looks like 7-5 start. Somebody is looking for, Zycat is looking for a Forced Atlantis. Jar Kid and Midi Guy DP, very nicely done. We are in the land of ice and snow. Ooh, and a broken pipe. That is going to go nowhere for our runners. That's what you'll love to see as we first get started. Now our runners do go into our first hand level stage. We have the Cheap Cheeps flying away as our 2 runners just do their best to avoid them. TEEX88 able to use the P-Speed strat, proa007 taking a little bit more of a conservative strat in picking up a mushroom power-up, and both will be rewarded with a mushroom. And both runners with that mushroom does mean that the hand stages will only produce mushrooms as our runners do find those throughout the world. So if they find another one, of course, the mushroom will come up, and another mushroom, because, hey, why not? You can never have too many mushrooms in the land of SMB3. So now TEEX88 will be entering the first fortress here in... Okay, just kidding. He will not be playing the fortress. He went ahead and played the Boomerang Brother. And now 2 fortresses so far that we have seen, our runners will have to make a decision on what they want to play. 5F2 is the decision of both of our runners so far. And both runners, I believe, know the P-Speed strat here. Looked like Pro A got hooked up just a moment. So now the lead does go back to TEEX88 for the time being. Expect that to change for sure. Not saying that Teeks can't take this all the way, but it is very difficult to do that. There is so much that can change throughout this game. And really the only thing that matters is when Bowser falls. So until then, watch for a very tight race and make sure you drink your water. Make sure that you're hydrating, because we're in it for the long haul. We're going to be here a while. Now, that is, in fact, the correct fortress. So now World 2's airship does come out to play. And they are... No, I think I got that backwards. Happens to the best of us. Okay, cannons are on World 3's airship. So World 3 has come out to play. Unfortunately, so has Lemmy, and that is going to be a problem for Teeks as he's not able to get the fire kill. That means proa007 is able to catch up. We have a near sync at this point. Now, as fast as we got into it, we're back out of it. Get your guesses in for World 2. What's coming up next? I got to go 7 still. All right, that Lion Koopa said it turned me into an Oscar Mayer wiener. If you wanted to be an Oscar Mayer wiener, apparently don't talk to that Lion Koopa because he apparently lied. and he's turned back into a king. Now onto the letter, we do have a fire flower, so very nicely done. That is going to be a great item to have down the stretch, I'm sure. A very aggressive item that can kind of keep you protected. The best offense is a good defense, right? So a nice item to have for sure. And our runners now find themselves in World 2 with a pyramid level and a nice skip jump there for TEEX88. Looked like he might have slipped just a moment, but no problem, as he is now moving on to the first fortress, and the pipes are not going to be necessary. This is wonderful. And I mean that in obviously a very disgusting sort of way. So the pipes are not going to be necessary, which means if you don't have a hammer, you're going to have to play all the levels that World 2 does give you, which will at least be 2, 3, the sand level, where those normally are, and then either 2, 4, or 2, 5, and then where the pyramid level is as well. So where we had a fast World 6, we're about to have a very slow World 2, and our runners are going to have to, the best they can, get through these as quickly as they can. Both runners very good in their own right. They're both very used to the grind, and yeah, we just have to wait and see what happens here. Both runners taking on the Boomerang brothers, and now, like we said, four levels is going to skip between these two, or 4 levels will be required between these two runners. We'll see if we have any divergence, if somebody goes 2-4 and somebody goes 2-5. I sure hope. That would be very interesting. So now TEEX88 and proa007 basically in sync at this point. There is not a whole lot separating these two. It looks like their scores a little different, the coins are a little different, and their cards at the end of the level are a little different. But other than that, just not a whole lot of difference. Oh, what a heads-up play from TEEX88 as he does go for the 7-6 clip. And now our runners, proa007 taking 2, TEEX88 taking 1, using that mushroom right before he went in there. Both runners, as quickly as they're in, they are out. And I believe we have a little bit of a sync change here. So these guys are insanely close. What an incredible match so far. 4-3 on the side of proa007. TEEX88 now in his 3-3. This is tight. We do have a divergence we were looking for. So wow, what a game. Unfortunately for TEEX, not quite able to get through that last part, but 4-3 is a bit of a longer level. So now TEEX will be the first out of his and will be moving on. Unfortunately, he is Small Mario, whereas proa007 is Fire Mario. So now the 2 panel does come up for TEEX88. He takes a star into 5. It's one of those. But he is using that star to the utmost ability. So 5-7 is going to go down very quickly for TEEX as he used that star. Was able to get through the majority of it, but now, interestingly enough, Pro8 has played an extra Boomerang brother that was not in TEEX's route. So 5-7 does come up for the Fire brother on the side of proa007. And okay, it looks like the Hammer brother was not in the route because it was waiting for him at the castle. So no harm, no foul, no item discrepancy at this point. What an incredibly close matchup at this point. Both runners just absolutely gifted and incredible at this game. World 1's airship does come up for TEEX88. We're going to be getting out of this as quickly as we came into it once again. 6:45 on the timer for these runners now, and they're going to be headed to World 3. Chat, what is it? I got to go with World 3 here. I think let's get World 3 where World 3 is supposed to be, and let's see what we have in store for our runners. Pro8 opting to go for the Fire Brother kill, just as we saw TEEX88 do, and absolutely incredible. Not even 30 seconds, maybe 20 seconds between these two runners now, and they're going to be heading into the next world very quickly. World 1 was World 6. So World 6, World 2, let's see what we have next. We got a World 4, 7, get World 7 in World 7. That would be very interesting. I would love to see that. And it looks like Arborelia is correct with World 5. Very nicely done. World 5 has come out to play. So we had 6, 2, 5. And this has gotten interesting for sure. 3-1 has started it for our two runners, TEEX and Pro8, obviously both going up and around, as they don't want to have to go down and around and swim and do all that jazz. So they both have a Fire Flower. There's no improving that right here. So they are going to go after as quickly as they can. Now, the pipe for TEEX is not the one that leads to the tower, so he is still going to have to head over to the tower to get up to the second level. At this point, you want to look at the world map and see, wait a second, do I have, ooh, a hammer? That's very nice to have. But what we would like to see is whether or not the fortress is on the right side. It is not, therefore it's not necessary. A cloud, a frog, and a hammer do adorn that inventory from TEEX. proa007. We haven't had a good look at his inventory, and he will be going after that second hammer brother. I think this is a very good idea to go after that fire brother, as that was the hammer that we just saw TEEX88 take down. So a little bit of an item discrepancy, but the big ticket items, the hammer that we saw from Proa is, or from both of our runners, is the one that we are talking about. And I haven't seen anything on Proa's side, even though he's going for more items here, that kind of leads me to believe that there's much of an anything here as far as advantage goes in the items. TEEX88 making very short work of that tower, and he has one fortress, I believe, to play. He sees blue lock, he thinks blue fortress. I think this is a good idea. He's now into the Air Force. Even as a not an auto scroller, you do have to be careful of this maniacal platformer. Those money moles do like to pop out of the airship and throw the wrenches at you, so do be careful of those. But TEEX came with a fire flower. He was ready for anything, and now Boom Boom will go down in 5 fireballs as we expect. Proa opting to go for a mushroom. A lot of items on his side, but does not look like either of them opting to utilize a lot of their items. The Air Force is the correct decision. Boss Bass goes down in 3-7. So now we're going to have to wait and see. Does he go for the coin heaven, or is he going to go on? Looks like coin heaven it is. TEEX looking for an inventory item here. If he finds a Hammer Brothers suit, a cloud, a hammer, cloud, Hammer Brothers suit, any of those are going to be huge. Even a P-Wing would be a really good item here, I think. It is a cloud. There is a good tier item. And oh, we'll have to see if Pro 8 decides to go for that as well. If not, that could be a big factor for him. TEEX equipped with the Fire Flower going into 8-1. He's not going for P-Speed. He's going to get through the first time and doesn't want to have to deal with it. There's the P-Speed. He decides to slow down just a brief moment. Unfortunately, that turn back does cost him his Fire Flower, but not the level, as he is now through it. proa007 gets a whiff of what he wants and is going after that cloud as well. So even though Pro A does not allow TEEX88 to get any more of an advantage, TEEX is already so far ahead. He is a level ahead with an item going through World 7's airship. And, ooh, interesting. Pro A has decided to double back. This could be a huge play. If this is a hammer, it's not. It is a star. Very similar indeed between our two runners. The biggest difference here, though, is that TEEX88 has been faster in all rights, and he hasn't gone for as many items. So the first death that we saw from either of these runners unintentionally, oh no, I apologize, that wasn't intentional, as proa007 said, you know what, I don't want to have to deal with 8-1. He's going to be skipping forward as quickly as we can. TEEX88, we will work on getting his stream up here in just moments. Meanwhile, proa007 looking to split any kind of difference as quickly as we can. TEEX frozen in the matrix, it seems, at 11:20. He looks to be posing with a Fire Brothers suit. So, yeah, we'll come back to that. Meanwhile, proa007 opting to just take down Roy as quickly as he can. Skipping 8-1, I do agree with that. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like with some of the levels we've seen though so far, and some that we've seen still yet to play, we do have a lot that are coming up still that are going to be. We do have a lot still left to play. And 7-9, 7-5, 5-9, Atlantis, we haven't seen any of those yet. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens next. So Pro A is just hot on his tail, but TEEX is really putting on a clinic at this point. The items have not really gone in the favor of Proa. He's gone after a lot of them, and it looks like we have TEEX that is a pretty clear advantage at this point. And with that, proa007 is just going to try to be keeping up as quickly as he can. And now TEEX88 is going to be going after that 1-6 slot. It is 5-1, excuse me. It is 5-1, so he's going to be going through as quickly as he can. Without a P-Wing, he can't go for the Speed Gamer strat, but that's okay as he is, had a bit of a close lucky call there, but is able to get through, and that is no issue at all for our runners. Now in World 1, we have Proa just a couple levels behind. He's eyeing that inventory, but unfortunately, he does not really have a good answer here. He just has to go through these the old-fashioned way, 1-2. No big deal. Our runners have played these a couple of times. And he, of course, will be playing 5-1 here in just one moment. Meanwhile, TEEX88 going after the World 2 airship. Doesn't have a clip jump. He doesn't have any kind of help there, so he's going to go through kind of down and around the old-fashioned way as well. Now Larry comes up with Earthquake. I think that surprised TEEX. Wasn't exactly expecting that, but 2 hits does take down Larry, and that is the end of it for him. So now get your guesses in. We've had 6, 2, 5, and 1. What is coming up next? proa007 just doing his best to take a slow fall there. That way he doesn't have any kind of a problem when it comes to the last 4 enemies on 5-1. And with that, he will be taking on, we'll see. Okay, he will take on the Boomerang Brother with a star. That gets him through very quickly. Meanwhile, TEEX looking to see what the next world is, and that is 4. So 4 has come up on the side of our current leader, who is just playing an, oh my word. Oh, that's disgusting. We have a 3-4 World 4, and 2 of them are currently locked. This is absolutely disgusting. So TEEX is going to go ahead and play a hand level. He'll get a mushroom for that, as we saw previously in the run. And Proa now going to be joining him in World 4 in just one moment. So here in about the next 20 seconds, we'll see him get started on this. Now, we do have a little bit of divergence. It looks like TEEX has opted to go for the first fortress that's nearest World 4's airship. I sure hope this is not the correct one. If this builds a bridge, I want my money back, because I really hope this breaks the lock of one of the fortresses and he has to go back and play it. We'll see. So I really hope. Stewie Carmen, I'm with you. No way it's that easy. It can't be that easy. I hope it's required, but I hope it's not the bridge. I really, truly hope that. In the meantime, we do have a proa007 now cursing the name of Growlwolf. Maybe rightfully so. Are we going to have a divergence here? Oh, we do. proa007 has opted to go ahead and use a hammer, which winds up putting him into World 4's second fortress that we normally would find. If this is not the right one either, oh, this is going to be very interesting. I wonder which lock broke with TEEX, and we're finding that out here in just one moment. So I guess TEEX will play the one, obviously, that it broke. And meanwhile, proa007 has opted to use his hammer already. Okay, we have our answer. So all 3 fortresses required in this way for TEEX. 3F2 is going to be the gatekeeper to the bridge that takes our runners to Iggy. So I believe actually all of the fortresses are going to have to be played unless TEEX decides, or I'm sorry, unless Proa decides to go play the level instead of the fortress. So not really a change here. I'm starting to wonder about the request, or I'm starting to wonder about the decision here for Proa, if it was worth it. Right now, it looks like he's ahead, and he will probably, well, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to. Okay, TEEX is shaking his head. He is also cursing the name of Growlwolf. Definitely understandable. I totally get it. I just don't care, because I am having a lot of fun with this, and I think you guys are entertained as well. But I don't see an advantage here for Proa by using that hammer. At best, he skipped 1 level. He gets a cloud out of a Hammer Brother suit. I think that's gonna, or out of a Hammer Brother. I think that's gonna be very valuable to him eventually. But as for now in World 4, I don't see an advantage here. He has the bridge, but he still has to go through a fortress or a panel. So yes, the cloud is definitely huge. Absolutely. He'll go through the hand level stage. We just saw TEEX go for it. TEEX has a wide open shot now to the airship, whereas Pro8 doesn't, but TEEX also did not play that brother. So if he does not go ahead and play the brother, he won't get that cloud. Is that going to be a factor? I think the fact that he still has his hammer is going to be the answer to that question. Okay, and I did misspeak. TEEX, even with the play for Pro8 on the right side to use a hammer, did not get the answer he was looking for. Therefore, he did have to play 2 fortresses, which I think he was trying to avoid. The 50-50 did not go in his favor. Therefore, he did have to play the extra levels. He will still have to play the same amount of levels through here, and oh, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Okay, looks like Pro8 is going to go ahead and skip and go into the airship. So now an airship between the two runners. World 5 airship does come up. We have 3 and 7 left to play. Folks, if I could roll a better seed, I'd like to know how. Because we still have a little bit of... Yeah, we still have a little bit left to play. We have 3, we have 7, and we have 8 to go. Some of the trickiest worlds still left to play. World 7 does come out now. And it looks like... Oh! I believe TEEX's face has said it all. 7-5 has come up, but I'm not sure I understand the death. Okay. TEEX is going to go ahead and use the hammer, saying, nope, I'm not playing 7-5. I'm going to go ahead and jump out, take an early exit, and he's going to blow through some of his items. A hammer comes out on the lock, a cloud comes out shortly after, and he is going to be going through as quickly as he can. Meanwhile, Pro8 has a tail, which is my favorite item to go through 7-5. And what a difference that has made. I think the hammer is going to be a big upset and turnaround. TEEX88 now with the tail. He went with a P-wing, and that was absolutely the right play here, as he is now through Fort Knox in one of the fastest ways possible. Gulp on the side of Boss Bass. Pro8 can't believe it. He's not excited about that. There is no hammer. He's going to have to play this the old-fashioned way, and this is looking like TEEX has it in the bag as he exits World 7. It is now TEEX's to lose, as there is now an entire World 7 basically between the two runners. World 4 has come out with its airship. Meanwhile, 3 is coming up next, and we'll be looking at the World 6 airship, which means Wendy is going to have a wide open arena to deal with our runners in. So if we get an earthquakey Wendy with a World 6 arena, this is going to get very complicated, I think, for our runners very quickly, and I cannot wait to see it. World 5 or World 3 Wendy without earthquake and 5 hits, I think, is the dream, because then she's more likely to throw her rings. That's a little bit different here. So, oh, this is incredible. This is such an incredible play. And then, of course, we have World 8 coming up next, and if we have a similar World 8, it was relatively linear, and then, of course, there's going to be a big difference between these two guys, as they are going to be looking for just getting through World 8 as quickly as possible. Yes, Nobly, I can confirm I was the one that rolled this for you, and I did feel bad because this is not an easy level to get through. And I absolutely agree with Midi Guy DP. Hammer definitely saved the day on North American Island, the top left side of the world map. North America was beaten by a hammer, kind of the way that we play Risk, actually. But either way, proa007 now able to get through 7-5, an absolutely disgusting 7-5 to contend with. A big Boss Bass. Meanwhile, TEEX88 is hammering away at World 3, and he's just going to be going through this as quickly as possible. 1-1 makes its debut tonight, as we are now in the World 7, so better late than never, obviously. And wouldn't you know it, 7F2 does follow 7-5. If I could have planned it any better, you know I would have. That is a disgusting turn of events, as these guys do have to worry about getting through. Well, Pro A now has to worry about 7F2. Meanwhile, TEEX88 has one goal in mind. Ooh! 2 bridges are missing on the right side of the World 3 map. That does mean that the fortresses, I don't believe, are required. So now, 5-9 on the side of Teeks. I do believe these runners are going to be cussing the name of Growlwolf for a very long time. 7F or 7-5 into 7F2. We have now 5-9 has come out to play, because why not? If I should feel bad, I'm not going to. And not to mention a required 3 fortresses in World 4. Ultimately, I mean, you could have played it differently, but if you didn't know, how would you have known? Like, if you didn't know which one was the correct one, would you have even picked it? I don't think I would have, honestly, especially having the hand level. That's an easy, quick one. 7-8, why not? proa007 not having any fun now, as World 7 is just absolutely delirious. But meanwhile, Pro A is still fighting through World 7, and Teeks is putting on the pressure as he is blowing through this World 3. He's going to be getting through this as quickly as possible. Pro A is able to get a Fireflower suit. Unfortunately, no Hammer Brothers suit on his side this time. We can't make it that easy. 6-2 is finishing off quickly for Teeks, and he will be going through this in just moments. All right, there's the pipe. That's all he was looking for, and there's the end scene for him. Pro A having to play all the levels that we saw Teeks skip. Teeks did skip 7-8 as well. No big deal. And he knows the fortresses are not going to be required. At this point, he's just looking for that last pipe, which I believe he does have to play a fortress. Interestingly enough, he's decided to backtrack a little bit. Instead of playing the level and then the fortress, he's just going to go back, play a Boomerang Brother who does not put up much of a fight. He'll have a fortress here in a moment. I hope it's 8-1. And he'll be going on to Windy in just a brief moment, as he knows where all the other pipes are. Now, of course, it is the one that's locked on an island with 2 bridges left to build. Thankfully, he doesn't have to build either of those bridges. Nonetheless, he will have to go and do his best to get through it, which it's World 2 Fortress, so no big deal there. Meanwhile, proa007 with the Tanuki suit does have the Fort Knox play here, and Teeks playing out of his mind. At this point, he is flying. I think I might have made him mad, folks, because at this point, I would not want to be SMB3. It looks like he is playing very quickly, and he is. He absolutely is. He'll be going into World 8 here in just moments. Meanwhile, proa007 still about a world behind World 3, just a little bit longer than World 7 was without some of those items. And now TEEX88 will be taking the fight to Windy. Now TEEX88 with the World 6 airship, as we said before. He's going to go for a clip here. Does not get it. Not an easy one, but if you do get it, it does save a few seconds from having to go down underneath here. And Teeks with the tail will be going after a fight with Windy. A very good call out from Sharkid. That is a very good point, because he does not have a cloud. He did opt to use it in the same place Teeks did, but 5-9 will be required. He will have to go through and play that. So a bit of a World 3 for him to contend with. A Wild Tanuki does appear for our proa007 on the left side. Command. Get your commands in chat. And also get your guesses in for World 8's bridges to Bowser's. How many bridges is it going to take for our runners to get to Bowser? I got to go with 2 this time. We had 3. I think let's go 2 this time. Maybe let's see if our runners can have a little bit of linear, but also a little bit of strategy that they have to contend with. Kind of like a hybrid. We'll kind of see, wait and see. We've got just about everything. We got a 1, we got -1. I like that. We got 0, we got 2, 3, and 4. Man, you guys are on fire. We got every guess in the book. 8F1 has shown up now. And for the second time, we do have 8F1. Meanwhile, Teeks is just blowing it away. Pro A has equipped a Hammer Brothers suit. I do believe that was the anchor item, and does not hurt to be well prepared for a maniacal 1-1. We got some fire tails. We've got some chain chomps. So yeah, a great item to have here, as it does take those down very quickly. And what a beautiful job for him to get through 1-1 without taking any damage there. So TEEX88 still holding on to that anchor, as Sharkit has pointed out. That is going to be a favorable outcome for Teeks if he's able to figure that out in time for Bowser's Castle. What he's also figured out is that 2 out of 3 of the hand level stages are in fact on the first screen of World 8, which of course is the lava lake, and that is going to be a sigh of relief as well. RNG is becoming less and less of a factor. We have a fortress. Teeks says, I don't care. I would rather know where Bowser is, and he doesn't quite have an answer yet. So I think it's time to go back and start playing some fortresses, because we don't know exactly which one is required yet. Teeks seeing that the tank on the left has said, you know what, it could be the regular tanks. That'll be just a level, and he's going to go ahead and try to get over that hand bridge as well. Not wanting to play this, he's going to go ahead and take a couple of intentional 100 coin finds, and just 610 not being nice at all to Teeks. This is absolutely disgusting. Yeah, definitely a lot of locks so far, a lot of things that we are still waiting to see how it's going to manipulate our runners into. Okay, I missed one. There is one more pipe where you normally would come into the dark world, and one bridge it is. Only one bridge required. Chelsea Butt, Shark Kid, very nicely done. Good guesses on both sides. Meanwhile, proa007 just doing his best to catch up as much as he can. Teeks is into his first fortress. Has decided to go ahead and play one, see if it is the correct one. 5F1, it is on his side, and he does get a fight with Boom Boom as quickly as he can. Meanwhile, Pro A still with the Hammer Brothers suit, going to try to protect that as long as he can, I do believe. Okay, a lock is broken. Now he looks like he's going to go ahead and go back and play the Navy. That is 6F1. He does have a mushroom. We'll see if he goes for that power up. He does. It looks like he will be going for a damage boost over the spikes, the quickest way to get through 6F3. You have to believe he's feeling some pressure here. Anytime you get into World 8, you have to feel like you're behind. You're just waiting for that done command to come out. You're waiting for the other runner to go ahead and cash in. But none of that yet. And a bro from TEEX88. That is, of course, the question mark that is upside down. It is an upside down orb, therefore it is a bro. So a bro does come out on the side of Teeks. Now, floundering just a little bit as he decides what he wants to do. He's thinking about playing. Oh, still doesn't have the answer he's looking for. It looks like he may have to go back to that hand level. On the left-hand side, we do have the tank still, but I don't know. I think he might have already played that. It looks like it may be the fort icon. 6F2 and a Tanuki suit does come out, so Teeks is going to wind up and let it rip as he flies along the bottom path, and very nicely done. That is a little specific. He does have to be pretty careful with that, but he is no stranger to the danger, and he is now on his way through 6F2, where he's going to be taking on a fight to an icy cold Boom Boom who's been waiting for him, and that's going to be the end of it. World 6's airship coming up for proa007. But is it too late? I think it might just be, as Teeks has finally found his answer, I do believe, and he will be going back to find Bowser's pipe and making sure that that is, in fact, the correct bridge to Bowser. We have the right answer. Pro A, unfortunately, not able to deal any damage to Windy with that Hammer Brothers suit. That is the answer we were looking for. Hammer Brothers suit is what Teeks is looking for, and a fight with Bowser is what we're looking for. So we cannot wait to see what happens here next. Top of the escalator clip? No, easy peasy, no problem. proa007 fighting very magnificently. Unfortunately, that is just not going to be quite enough for him, and he is going to have to get through it as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, TEEX88 now going for a mac and cheese. Oh, look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. That's what you love to see. And here in just one moment, the King of Clips will finish off the great King Bowser, and that is going to be the end of that fight. So definitely get your GGs in chat now for Teeks. A beautiful fight, and excitingly enough, we do have a round 3 coming up in moments. So GG's for sure, GFG for sure from TEEX88. What a game, and we'll go ahead and mark him as the winner because he won. Very nicely done. Very good job. What a game. That's exactly what we were hoping and expecting to see. Round 3 coming up in just one moment. TEEX88 putting on an absolute clinic. He had the right calls. He had the right levels. He had the right feel. He had the right everything. He had the right items. proa007 opted to go ahead and utilize a few more, utilize a couple more fights with Boomerang Brothers, things like that. And Proa, he decided to go for a little bit of a riskier strategy, try to get those hammers, those clouds, even Hammer Brothers suits, and unfortunately just didn't play out for him. And TEEX88, just taking the bare minimum, was able to utilize a hammer in World 7, proa007, the plan to go with hammer in World 4. Unfortunately, just not playing out. World 7's hammer skipped 7-5, 7F2, and then he clouded over 7-8, which ended up being a huge assist in his favor. So TEEX88 with an absolute incredible matchup, just an incredible race for him. He was on fire. I know there was a couple times where he was very concerned and probably a little exasperated with some of the different levels and fortresses that had come up even in a row. 5-9, 7-8, 7-5, 7F2. We had a couple of really dangerous levels come out, and these guys really showing their stuff to do a great job in this match. TEEX88 just putting the pedal to the metal and was able to get out of the fight with Bowser extremely quick. Now proa007 is looking for that fight with Bowser as well. And with that, I mean, all that to say, we are going to be going into race 3 in just moments. And in the semifinals between these two legends, veterans of the game, what more could you expect? I mean, this was obviously set up to be an incredible match. The winner's semifinal does go on, obviously, to the quarterfinals, and obviously both of them do, or I'm sorry, no, the quarterfinals are done. I went the wrong way. The winner's final is the destination for the winner of this next race. So it doesn't matter what you've done so far. All that matters is what you'll do next in the race of the match. And that is, of course, the third one. Both winners have taken one. They need one more to move on. The loser will go on to the double elimination round, where they'll be looking for a fight with a couple of random opponents. It could be a lot of different people, honestly. The tournament bracket is very well done, but just the way that it's set up, there are a lot of people that could still take that place. So I'm sure the winner of this one's going to be watching expectantly to see who wins between Mini Guy DP and Stewie Cartman, because they do take on Human Mustard, who has already claimed his spot in the winner's semifinal. And then whoever wins this will be looking for a fight with them in the winner's final. So a lot of SMB3 left to go. And if it's as a portion of exciting as this has been so far, we're in for a really great time. Meanwhile, proa007 opting to go ahead and take down Bowser. Great idea. I am very excited for that. You know, you always want to see Bowser fall. That just makes it a lot more fun. And Proa, You know, no slouch in this game. TEEX88, no slouch in this game. Bowser has fallen to them many, many, many times. "35 fireballs is what it's going to take for Bowser, and fight fire with fire. Why not? proa007 taking the fight to Bowser on the lower level. Bowser does fall. That's a flip in midair, and he is headed down to say goodnight for now. And that is going to be the end of it for race 2. Buckle up. We are going to be here in just a few minutes. We're going to take a quick break. Get your water, get your coffee, get your GGs in chat for proa007. Very nicely done on his side. And once again, the princess has been saved. The day is made. And race 3 starting soon. TEEX with a beautiful performance. proa007 fighting hard to get back in and just do his absolute best there. Official race times, TEEX88 with a time of 33 minutes even, and proa007 38:08. So excellent job. We'll be getting these racers started here in just a few minutes, like I said. And in the meantime, go ahead and take a break. Do not change your browser window. If you do, come right back. You're not going to want to miss this next race.